So in this lesson, I will talk about general concepts of the Inactive Creator architecture. And this will be a pure theory, no practice at all. But I think it will serve as a good base for every further lesson. So I would like to start with quickly refreshing you on the basics. So as you remember, uh, I just opened a Unity project of VR training application. So this project contains templates. So and in templates I have everything that I need to create a training application as a designer. So this template would contain custom behaviors, custom conditions, some kind of configuration, and so on. So at Inactive, we often refer to a concept of 3 layers of a training application. So there are 3 layers: the core, the template, and the training application itself. And there are 3 different roles that are responsible for every part of it. So like at the very base, there is Inactive Creator core. So Inactive Creator core is something very fundamental, like something that uh, everyone would use. So, like for example, what is a behavior? Yeah, what is a condition? What is a transition? Everything is defined in the core. The template, on the other hand, is built upon the core. So in the template, we would have something like move object behavior. We would have like highlight object behavior. Yeah, something very concrete, something that the training designers could actually use. Yeah, because if you will just throw the code at them, they will not be able to make any use of it. Yeah, because first of all, we have to make a template. So that would be your responsibility as a template developer. And you will create a template, you will write custom behaviors, you will create custom conditions, you will send it to a designer, and designer will make a training application with it. So the idea is that at your company, you will have one template for all designers, for all applications. Yeah, but at the same time, every company would have its own template. So it would mean that like you would be able to tweak the Inactive Creator to your needs. Uh, Recently, like in a year recently, we came up with a new concept, with a new layer, which is components. So basically, just imagine that you made a template, you create a custom behavior for it, and then you make another template, yeah, and you would like to reuse this behavior. Of course, you could just copy paste it, and this could work, yeah. And but alternatively, you could create a component. So a component, it's something that is reused between multiple templates, and it's similar to a template because it solves one concrete task. Yeah, for example, at Inactive, we have a component which just provides you with behaviors and conditions for interaction in VR. But on the other hand, it is as reusable as the core. So again, one component, multiple templates, one template, multiple training applications. So right now, every component that we are aware of is made by Inactive. But as we build the open source community about our Inactive Creator, we hope that in the future will be more components and that they will be made by other companies and other developers. So now let's jump back to the Unity project. So every VR training application made with Creator has a scene, and in the scene we have multiple training objects, and also we have a configuration. In this configuration we choose a training course that we want to execute when we run the application, and we can edit this course. So what is this course is made of? So first of all, a course can have one or more chapters. So in this case, rest of the chapters are empty. I just added them for demonstration purposes. Yeah, and in every chapter we have steps. And when we enter the step, we execute our behaviors. And after we execute all behaviors, we check for transitions. And every transition, how do we check for it? Yeah, like every transition has its own set of conditions, and when all conditions are met, then this transition will be taken. So in this case, if you drop the object where you are supposed to drop the object, if you go to the end of the chapter. Otherwise, if you drop the object in the random place, you will go to grab again step. So we have a course, we have a chapter, we have a step. In the step we have behaviors. Also in the step we have transitions, and every transition has multiple conditions for it. What is common for all of them? Yeah, because if you compare behavior to a course or condition to a course, there is like there is no obvious correlation between of them, obvious similarity. So the similarity is that internally every of these things, yeah, course, chapter, step, so on, everything is an entity. So entity is a class, yeah, and the idea is that everything is placed by the same rules, right? So what is an entity? Entity consists of the data, lifecycle, and its processes. So data is a very simple concept. Yes, it's got some variables, some values stored in there. So for example, if we have move object behavior, its data would contain the target position where we have to move the object. So the data contains no logic, just values. Then we have lifecycle. So every entity has 4 stages of its life. So it starts as inactive, then it starts activating, then it becomes active, and then it's deactivating and it's inactive again. And in some cases, it can go through this circle once again. Something important to notice here, to note here, is that first of all, you can't skip the stages, so you can't go directly from inactive to active. You have to go through activating anyway. And the other concept is that by extension of the previous one is that you can't go backwards. So if you are in the activating stage and you want to make your entity inactive, you have to go through the whole circle. So when we enter a stage, we execute a process related to this stage. Yeah, so entity can has up to 3 processes. One for activating stage, one for active stage, and one for deactivating stage. And process, it has 4 methods. So it has start. Once we enter the stage, the start method is executed. Then we have updates, and update it will be called every single frame. So and update is an enumerator. So at some point it would stop executing. Yeah. So once we are finished with the updates, we call the end methods. So important thing here is that start and end methods, they will be called anyway. So let's jump back and talk about how do we decide when we go from one stage to another stage. So for going from inactive to activating and from active to deactivating, it's very simple. We wait for our parents to tell us to do so. So if we go to the very beginning, yeah, uh, we start activating the cars. So we enter the activating process, and inside this activating process, there is a piece of code that gets the first chapter and tells it to activate. Very simple, I hope. So for going from activating to active and from deactivating to inactive, it's a little bit different. Instead of waiting for someone to tell us to do so, we just iterating over our current process by calling the update method. And once we can't call the update method anymore because we went completely through it, we call the end method. I guess you have noticed already that there is a fourth method, fast forward. So what is a fast forward for? Well, first example is that say we are in the active stage and we are going through the active stage process, and our parent tells us to start deactivating. So what do we do here? Well, we call the fast forward method. Fast forward method is supposed to make sure that we uh, fake that we went through update method completely, and then it's called the end method. So right now, I'm pretty sure that it sounds quite vague for you, but when we get to the behaviors and to the conditions in the next 2 lessons, trust me, it will fit right into the place. So basically, the fast forward is when we want to break the normal execution of the stage process. So I believe that that's it for now. Again, if you have any questions, reach me via email or through XR Bootcamp portal. And also, if you like not still so sure about what I'm talking about, uh, watch the next lesson and maybe like having a little bit of practice will help you to get this concept settled. Thank you.